Football League. Today, the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys.
Live from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, the Giants come to town against the Cowboys. Sold out. Weather conditions, temperature 93 degrees. It's much hotter than that down on the playing surface. Humidity 52%, wind south 16 miles an hour, and the forecast for the rest of the day is partly cloudy. Good afternoon. Many of you have been watching the progress of the Rams and the Packers. We'll keep you posted on what's going on in that game. They now have less than a minute left to play. I'm Pat Summerall. This is John Madden. We spent a long time yesterday with Tom Landry and asked him how he has some apprehension.
That's what he said. You know, he said they've been winning. They've had to come from behind in both games. He said they've been doing it with big plays. And he's disappointed in two areas, specifically his defense. His pass defense is last in the NFL, and his special teams. As a matter of fact, this week, Tom Landry took over the special teams himself.
John, you know, as long as you coach, as long as I've been around the NFL, a lot of times you get the impression that people don't deal with the limitations that they have. But in talking to Bill Parcells, the Giant head coach yesterday, he thinks that his team is capable of doing certain things, and he's playing and planning to do just that.
Well, of course, he wants to deal with his strengths. He realizes the biggest strength of the Giants is his defense. So he wants to let them get field position, make big plays for him. He also realizes that he has good kickers, he has good special teams, and he does have some limitations on offense. Now, last week against Atlanta, they had a ball control type offense. They'd run on first down, run on second down, try and create those 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 6 deals so that they could get that short passing. This week, he says he wants to do the same thing again. The only difference is he'd like to have some surprises on first down. So we may see some play passes early.
And early, just to let you know, it is very, very warm and humid. Temperature down in the field is vastly different from what it is up here. And just being down there for a few minutes a short time ago, it is very hot. The Giants have won the toss. They will receive the kickoff, and back to return for them eventually will be Danny Pittman, perhaps. We'll just have to take a look at who else. Raphael Septien, off to a great start this year. Hasn't missed anything. Will kick off for Dallas. Not only would the weather be a factor, but the sun, as it comes through that huge hole up in the top of the roof of Texas Stadium, will also be a factor. Billy Pittman, Camp Field, number 35, sorry. Ex-Philadelphia Eagle, who did such yeoman work for them for a long time. And they'll be looking right dead into that sun. That could bother you. Raphael Septien then will kick it off and start this match between the Cowboys and the Giants. Good kick. Campfield shading his eyes 5 yards deep in the end zone, starts to come out, changes his mind, and stays. The lineups for the Giants, the offensive backs and receivers: Bruner, Wolfup, Carpenter, Ernest Gray, and John Missler. Up front, it's Ben Sinnard, Humphrey Turner, Gordon King, and the tight end Zeke Mowat. Scott Bruner, the quarterback, 6'5". Last week, 18 out of 30 for 194 yards, the 1 touchdown, the 1 interception. So the Giants will operate first offensive play from scrimmage from their own 20-yard line. Butch Wolfup bounces outside, bounces for about 4 yards. The ever-present, it seems, and always there, Jan Stenerud has beaten the Los Angeles Rams and beaten John Robinson as the Packers win 27-24. That's a final. The Dallas defense, they play the 4-man front as they have for, well, as long as they've been here. The linebackers, Hegman, Brunig, and Dickerson. The secondary, Walls, Thurman, Clinksdale, and Down. 2nd and 5. Bruner looks to the outside quickly. Has John Missler shy of a first down. Everson Walls on the tackle right there with him.
It was interesting, Pat. On first down, the Giants went with 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. They only had 1 wide receiver in there. And I think that's how they want to shore up that first down running a little. Then they came back with a short pass on second down, and now they create that 3rd and 1 situation.
Which is a situation that they are quite comfortable with. One that they strive for. 3 tight ends. Short yardage. Cowboys in their goal line defense. Carpenter. I don't know. It is close. No, it's not Carpenter. It's Butch Wolfel. And he's got the first down.
One of the things Bill Parcells was telling us last night, that he wants to do a little misdirection. He said he knows that the Cowboys really key
Let's go back to New York and Brent Musburger.
And Pat, here is that field goal by Jan Stenerud, 36 yards, but it was set up by a fumble by Eric Dickerson. The Packers then ran one play, then they kicked the winning field goal. So Green Bay comes back. They beat the Rams 27-24. Back to Pat Summerall.
And before this year is over, those Packers are going to be a factor. 2nd and 2. Giants. Wolfel close to another first down. Maybe he has it.
I think that was the type of play that we were talking about, where they had Carpenter going one way to the left and then Woolfolk going up inside, not having to sweep. Let's watch it again. We'll see Carpenter here in the left. Now watch him. See, he comes across the backfield. That gets Bruning to take a step that way, and then in a misdirection, they bring Woolfolk back against the grain.
And it's a Giant first down at their own 41-yard line. Mullity was the man in motion. This is Carpenter. And Carpenter bangs out to about the 45 before Mike Hegman takes him down. Well, one thing about talking to Bill Parcells, as we did yesterday, he lets you know what it is he's going to try to do.
I'll tell you, he really is an open and honest guy. I think if he has time, he's going to be, someday he'll be one of the real good head coaches in this league.
All you have to do to get time is win a few. Carpenter was the lone setback. Bruner to throw for the first time. Wide open is Mowat. Had it, dropped it, and now it's called an incomplete pass. They say no fumble. They say not a fumble. Dexter Clinksdale on the coverage. Mowat was wide open.
He was wide open. They caught the Cowboys, and Mowat just split their defense. He's upset the rookie free agent. Let's just watch it again. Here it is. We see the play pass. Then Mowat is coming right up the middle. He never did gain control of the ball. See? Just as he was starting, he had the ball up there just as he started to put it away. The ball bounced out, so the official said he never had control of it, thus an incomplete pass.
So Scott Bruner will now operate from the shotgun. Penalty markers go down. Bruner throws complete. Danny Pittman made the reception. Rod Fellows on the tackle.
You know, that's something new for the Giants. That play there was the first time that they've used the shotgun this year.
They tried to go on the quick count, and they did go on the quick count, except it was too quick. 14-yard gain, first down, wiped out by that penalty.
Illegal motion, number 81, offense, 3rd down.
The motion man.
Of course, the illegal motion could be that he was going forward before the ball was snapped.
It's 3rd and 12, and I think that's exactly what happened. Now they go with extra wide receivers, and one more time they go from the shotgun. Canfield back there with Bruner. Cowboys showing blitz. Canfield gets outside. Does not get the first down as the Cowboys tried to put the heat on Bruner. And the Giants will have to punt on 4th down.
Well, this is the type of thing that the Giants want to do, and it's the type of thing you do when you have a good defense. You get that 3rd and long, you don't go for it all. You just take a solid, safe play. If you break it, fine. If you don't, the worst thing you can have is this guy here, Dave Jennings' punt, is one of the best punters in the league. Let him get the offense down there and play your strong defense.
The Cowboys send back a single safety. We'll check the hang time. Jennings, Donnelly will handle. Got away from one man. Giants did a good job getting down very quickly. 41-yard punt, 1-yard return. Jennings, okay. Not his best, but not bad. The Cowboys will take over. The offensive backs and receivers for Dallas: Danny White, Dorsett, Springs, Drew Pearson, and Tony Hill. Offensive line: Donovan, Scott, Rafferty, Peterson, Cooper, and Cosby. Tom Landry shuttles those 2 guards. So we'll just have to keep track of who's in the game. It is Herbert Scott to begin things. Rafferty, the center, will check the Giant defense in just a minute. Dallas first down at their own 13. 2 tight end setup. Dorsett spins outside to the 15. Terry Jackson, the cornerback, came up to make the stop. The 3-man line defense of the Giants includes McGriff, Burt, and Hardison. That's against the run. The linebackers: Van Pelt, Kelly, Carson, and Taylor. That's against the run. The secondary: Haynes, Jackson, Courier, and Reese. It'll be 2nd and 7 as Dorsett spun his way for 3 yards. Lone setback, Dorsett. That's Tony Hill in motion. Right out to Hill, and the Giant didn't prove anybody. Hill spins away from 2, still on his feet. Hill's got some room now. Tony Hill, magnificent individual effort.
One of the first rules that you teach your defensive players is never think you hear the whistle blow. It looked like some of the Giants thought, you got him, let's go, it's all over. But it wasn't, and Tony Hill kept going. Let's watch it again. It's going to be a screen. We see the center, guard, tackle all pull out to the right to get in front of Hill. Nice big pile out there. There's George Martin. He'll miss right there. Back there we have another miss, Lawrence Taylor. Look, they all got him. I got him. You take him. Who got him? No one. He'll run out of bounds before it's over.
Well, that's a long time at the dance for just 2 yards. 3rd and 5. Danny White back to throw. Outside he goes. Springs cut down by Jackson. Almost as soon as he made the reception. That Giant defense is, in the estimation of Tom Landry, the best in the NFC, maybe the best in the NFL. They just showed you why he thinks that.
Well, I'll tell you one other thing we know is that Bill Parcells was telling us last night that any time they get in that area, 3rd and 6, their favorite receiver is Ron Springs. He said, so you have to do something. Then they rolled up into a zone on his side, and that's why Terry Jackson, the right corner, was up there to make the play.
Ex-Cowboy Beasley Reese is back deep for the Giants. Warren will kick it. Hangs it high, doesn't turn over, stay up there long. Not long enough to suit almost everybody. Reese taken down quickly. This is something that the Cowboys felt they had to work on, and they did with Landry in supervision. Special teams.
When the head coach comes over and he's the coach, he said, I really don't want to admit that until after the game. We'll see how they do first.
And so Tom has been working with the special teams throughout this week, and so far he should be happy.
I think he's so happy he doesn't even sweat on a hot day like this. That coat, tie, hat.
I wonder how that would be.
Did not sweat?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. First down, Giants, their own 42. Brunner gives to Wolfram, and he's got no place to go. He'll lose a couple. Mike Hagman had it diagnosed perfectly.
One thing that's very difficult on this Cowboy defense, they use that flex, is to run right or left, to sweep it. Really, if you're going to, you have to run straight at it.
So north and south is the way to go, not east and west. 2nd Second down and 12. Bruner looking into the sunshine. Missler comes back in motion. Bruner gives draw play Carpenter. He got a little bit of room, but not enough. Michael Downs and Everson Walls come up quickly, and Carpenter stays down. Let's go to Brent Musburger right now in New York.
Pat, for the second time this afternoon, Walter Payton of the Bears has gunned a touchdown pass. This one to the rookie, Willie Gault. Gault has caught 4 passes, 3 for touchdowns of 8, 56, and 21 yards. They're tied with a minute. Back to Pat Summerall.
Walter Payton has found new life as a thrower.
That's the old triple threat. Remember that?
Yeah.
The guy that would run it, throw it, and kick it.
And he is, as a matter of fact, their backup placement. Third down, 11. Bruner from the shotgun. Cowboys do not blitz, but they put some pressure on. Ernest Gray gets the clutch reception coming across the middle. 23-yard gain. Giant first down. Bill Bates made the stop, but let's see how Gray got there.
I'll tell you, Gray starts from the left side. We watch him. He's the outside guy there. Ron Fellows is man-to-man on him. Now, this is a running pattern. He's just starting. He has the whole field. There's no safety in the middle. He just runs right by Fellows, gets a step on him, and then gets a big play.
First down, Giants. They're at the Cowboy 36. No score yet. Double tight end setup with Mullity and Moat both. This is Carpenter. Bob nudges his way for a couple. Not much room to run. Mike Hegman led the defense.
You know, when the Cowboys get into that situation, passing downs on defense, they always go to a man-to-man type defense because they like to blitz a lot. And the offense, then, you want to run running patterns the way Gray did. Not the zone patterns, the hooks and stuff, but where you have a chance against man-to-man to run away from a defender.
So well put. That's the way to attack it. Rob Carpenter is the lone setback behind Scott Bruner. Second down. They fake. Bruner throws. In the corner for Gray and overthrown. Dennis Thurman, good defense. Let's check some of the other scores around the NFL. Atlanta beat Detroit. First time the Lions have lost, 30-14. Atlanta, somewhat of a mystery team. You heard us say a minute ago that Jan Stenerud beat the Rams 27-24 with his field goal. Surprise score there. New England over the Jets 23-13. Pittsburgh 40, Houston 28 final. Trouble in Houston. Scott Brunner's 2 out of 4, 27 yards. 3rd and 6 situation. Brunner will operate from the shotgun. Billy Campfield in the backfield. Missler in motion. Brunner dropped. Brunner with a man wide open. Billy Campfield out of the backfield. Got himself very loose. 12-yard gain, first down, Giants. Anthony Dickerson knocked him out of bounds.
Bill Parcells was saying that Campfield did this for so many years for the Philadelphia Eagles against them. Come in on that 3rd down, catch that big pass for the first down. He said when the Eagles waved him, that was the first thing on my mind. This guy has caught so many 3rd down passes against us. I'd like to have him playing for us and doing it, which he's doing.
And that just paid off. 6:05 left first quarter, 1st and 10. Giants at the Dallas 20, no score. So far, it's been the kind of game that the Giants would want. Wolford. Outside, breaks one tackle, gets to the 15. Bob Brunig tripped him up.
That's the example of this flex defense. Brunig, the middle linebacker, is free. The defensive line keep the offensive line off Brunig so he can just chase. Now Walls comes up to the outside, forces him back into the middle linebacker Brunig. That's why he'll always lead the team in tackles, the middle linebacker.
Every Tom Landry coached team has had that situation.
And up.
Leroy Jordan, 2nd and 5. Carpenter. Nudge again. John Dutton wrapped him up after about a yard. Carpenter has been working hard the first 2 weeks.
You know, last week against Atlanta, Bill Parcells was saying when they went into overtime, he said he went over and he said Carpenter was there sitting on his helmet. Looked like he just got back from some war. And he says, hey, you okay? And he says, yeah, just give me the ball.
Those guys who sit on their helmet, they're usually ready.
I like those guys. Fred Blitnikoff was a great helmet sitter honor.
Bruner back to throw. Blitz is on. Knocked away at the last second by Everson Walls. Intended for Missler. Washington 27, Kansas City 12. Redskins came from behind to win that one. They're going to be tough, too, throughout the year. Here is Ali Haji Sheikh, who last week with his field goal in overtime beat the Atlanta Falcons. Scott Bruner is the holder, so of course there is always that possibility that he might put it up. 31 yards away for Ali Haji Sheikh. He gets the ball up high and he gets it usually very true. The Giants break on top 3-0 over Dallas. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Texas Stadium. Giants lead 3-0 on a 31-yard field goal by the man at whom you look, Ali Haji Sheikh. Chuck McSwain and Ron Fellows back deep for Dallas. High kick and not a very good one. It's Fellows. Fellows almost broke out of the pack. Gets back to the 28. Byron Hunt, who played here collegiately at SMU, made the stop. The Giants 3, Dallas nothing. First quarter, 4:31 left. Exactly what the Giants would like to have continue. Look how long they had the ball.
And if they're going to be successful, they need that type of thing throughout the game.
From their own 29, the Cowboys operate with Tony Dorsett, the lone setback. Cosby now comes outside Pearson to the left. And now Pearson goes in motion. Danny White to throw on first. Looks outside, has. Drew Pearson, who jukes for a first down. Harry Carson out to make the stop, but a 12-yard gain nevertheless.
Let's watch Drew Pearson here. Now, the Giants play mostly zone pass defense. This is a zone. We see Van Pelt underneath. We see Haynes as a corner, safety inside. And we see Pearson. He just comes underneath out to the sideline and gets that.
First down, Dallas at their own 41. Pitch back to Dorsett. Only Dorsett looking for some room to the outside. Found a little for a minute. Lawrence Taylor, a tough man to juke, tripped him up after a gain of about 3.
Well, that guy right there, Tony Dorsett, is a pretty good juker, though. You know, Tom Landry was saying, you know, he's not a blaster. And that's why they get him so deep in the backfield. Let that defense react. And then by the time Dorsett gets there, he just runs against their reaction.
He sees so much. 2nd and 7. Springs in front of Dorsett, and Dorsett aligns himself. Well, now he goes back to where he was. Deep, very deep. Springs the ball carrier. Van Pelt the tackler. They need about 3 more for a first down. Just keeping you up to date on some other scores. Overtime in Chicago and New Orleans with the Saints against the Bears, 31-31. Seattle 7, San Diego 7, first quarter. Minnesota leading Tampa Bay 7-0. The Buccaneers having all kinds of problems getting on the scoreboard. Doug Donnelly now split wide to the left. The 2 other wide receivers wide to the right. All kinds of weapons for Dallas. White will try to take advantage of it. Overthrows. Intended for Dorsett, I think.
I'll tell you who caused that one, and he won't get credit for it anywhere, is George Martin, the left end. Danny White was looking. He was waiting for someone to come open. Now watch from the right of the screen here. Danny White's in a shotgun. He's going to look out there to the right, but look what he sees. He sees George Martin right there. He has to get rid of the ball before he wants to, so he just threw it away. That incompletion should go to George Martin, defensive left end, number 75.
That was Andy Hedden. It was closest to Dorsett, but you were exactly right. It was George Martin who did the damage. Great punt by Martin, by Warren this time. They let it bounce, and Dallas will down it at about the 2-yard line. Ron Fellows is down there quickly, and the Giants are deep in the hole. 49-yard punt, no return. Warren will keep his job with efforts like that. For Notre Dame against Miami, right here, right on CBS. 3-0 here at Texas Stadium. The Giants lead the Cowboys with 2:17 left first quarter. Scott Brunner, the Giants quarterback, hands to Butch Wolford. And Butch stays on his feet, gets the Giants out of a hole, a first down. All the way out near the 20. Butch Wolfolk's longest run of the year. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger.
The Philadelphia Eagles have struck first against the Denver Broncos. Jaworski looking for Quick from the 38, and he's got him. And the Eagles score 7 after the Tony Franklin extra point. They lead at 7-0. Let's go back to Pat and John.
First down at their own 19. Mullally in motion. Carpenter the carrier. Carpenter gets the yard. You know, I was just thinking about what Tom Landry said before they went to St. Louis last week. He said that we felt the most important thing we had to do was shut down O.J. Anderson. And he felt going here, I think, that we have to control Carpenter.
And that's why that first down run by Woolfolk was so successful. It was another one of those misdirection. They sent Carpenter one way, Woolfolk the other way. The Cowboy defense were all keying Carpenter.
2nd and 7, 1:07 left first quarter. The tackler up there in a hurry.
I think Everson Walls is probably the most confident defensive back that I have ever seen. This guy, they say he can't run. He wasn't drafted in the NFL the whole draft. All he does is come in and he wins his starting spot his first year, makes All-Pro, and starts in the Pro Bowl. But the guy is so confident. He gets out there like he can cover anyone.
Well, nobody can last, I don't think, John, and I think you would agree at that position if you don't have that confidence.
That's one of the biggest things because they're out there all alone. They're on an island an awful lot of the time.
3rd down. Ball at the Giant 27. Time. Brunner is not sure of what information came from Pat Hodgson over on the sideline. In the backfield along with Rob Carpenter. Brunner, quarterback draw, got the first down. That's a wrinkle we haven't seen.
Oh, I know it. I think the Giants have a lot of new wrinkles for the Cowboys. Watch it here. It's a quarterback draw. Brunner will start like he's going back. Let the Cowboys start their rush. Sees the opening and comes right up the middle. He caught him in the perfect defense. He caught him in the stunt. You see him? They were all going to the outside. They left that big middle for the quarterback.
That's not something that's done without a lot of research. You just don't pick up those things like that. At the end of 1, it's 3-0 Giants.
3rd down and 3. That's when the Cowboys like to hunt. Quarterback delays.
To keep the ball, keep the Cowboys from getting that big play. Then they feel they have a legitimate chance. And it really looks like it. 7. Brunner back to throw. Looking deep. Mowat. This time he made sure. First down Giants in Dallas territory at the Cowboy 44. 20-yard game. Michael Downs the tackle. That's something else they must have figured out.
Let's watch the effect of the play pass. You see it hold the middle linebacker Brunig, and then Mowat comes right in behind him. And they throw it over his head. That's why you run the play pass. You fake the run, hold that middle linebacker who's supposed to get deep in the middle. That holds him up there, boom, right over his head to your tight end.
So far, it has really been a very appropriate game plan for the Giants. Here's Brunner to Wolford. He cuts in for a couple. For an NFL update, let's send you back to our New York studio and Brent Musburger.
Pat, Minnesota quarterback Tommy Kramer has been knocked out of the game against Tampa Bay. He was rolling around the left side when Mike Washington got a hold of him, and Tommy's cleat stuck out of bounds. He then twisted a knee. He is sidelined, and Steve Dills is now quarterbacking. Minnesota leads by 7. Back to you.
And here, Brent, the Giants have painted a pretty picture so far. They've done exactly exactly what they planned to do. Reverse coming. Mike Miller with a great speed. Chased down by Brunig and knocked out of bounds by Brunig.
You know, Mike Miller, of course, was with the Green Bay Packers. The Giants got him late, and they've been working him slowly into their offense. But anytime they put him in, they try and get a big play to him. Here it is, a reverse. Start the sweep to the right, and then bring it back to Miller. He is one of the fastest guys in the National Football League.
It's been a long time, if ever, since they had speed like that.
He played
the other receiver at Tennessee
right,
with Willie Gault.
Wow.
How'd
you like to be a defensive back having to play against those guys? Sleep.
Bruner Mulledy taken down by Bates, short of a first down.
Of course, Scott Bruner is upset there with
last week against Atlanta.
Of course, the first week they took the brunt of everything against them. This is why the Giants had to take timeout. They had 12 men on the field. There's Danny Pittman. He started to run on the field. Right there, he started to run on. Then they had 12 men, so they had to take a timeout. Pittman may have thought right there that it was going to be a punt.
53 yards for Ali Haji Sheik, and they're still going to try it. If they hadn't taken the timeout, they would have put the Sheik back so far that he probably couldn't have tried a field goal.
Right, and Pittman didn't have any place to go on the field goal team because that's usually the big, strong guys up there. Pittman's not one of those guys.
Haji Sheik from 53 yards out. He's got the power.
Oh, that'll give the Giants a first down.
If it's against Dallas.
Tom Landry's emotion looks like it is.
False start, offense.
He just wiped a little sweat off his brow, I think, didn't he? Because that takes the Giants out of field goal range. Right. They'll bring in their punt team.
Just exactly what we were talking about. They lost a timeout. They lost 5 yards.
Illegal snap, number 60, offense, fourth down.
To him.
All right. So Dave Jennings angling for the corner. Hits it well. And corners it pretty well, too. Out of bounds at about the 4.5-yard line. 35-yard punt, but that's not the story of how good that is. 12 minutes left to play in the first half at Texas Stadium, and the high-scoring Cowboys aren't on the board yet. These are two teams who did not meet last year because of the strike situation. Both of their games against each other were canceled. So it goes back to 2 years ago since they faced each other. It's 3-0. So far, the Giant plan has worked. So instead, to spring to about the 8 or 9. Brad Van Pelt was the first man in blue to hit him.
See what happened on that last play? It was funny. Doug Donnelly ran on the field, said something to Danny White, and ran back off. That'd be a lousy position to play. You're a messenger, and you don't get to play any plays.
Well, here comes Donnelly again. Maybe he's got the rest of the message.
That happened to John Robinson in Oregon once. Len Casanova was the coach, and John came up and said, "That's the way to hit, Robbie." Didn't even stay in a play.
White. Good Dorsett. There was some daylight, but it went away. Mark Haynes closed the curtain.
Of course, we'll start out here. Now, what happened? Doug Donnelly was out there trying to block on Mark Haynes. He doesn't get him. Now, watch Dorsett make this little move. Now, it's a corner out here. Haynes is going to make the play. You see Donnelly try and block him? No way. Haynes really made a nice tackle. Let's watch Donnelly come off here. See, here's Haynes, 36. Donnelly comes off, faces him. Haynes just goes, boom, whap, take that. Makes the tackle.
Maybe that's why Donnelly's delivering messages. Third down, 6. Mike. Drew Pearson. That's enough for a first down. Terry
4 minutes to go in overtime in New Orleans. Morton Anderson kicks this 41-yard field goal, and the Saints have won their first game in overtime in their history, 34-31 over the Bears. Back to you and John in Dallas.
All right, Brent, thank you. Here it's 3-0. The Giants lead the Cowboys. Cowboys have the ball. 10 minutes, 32 seconds left in the first half. Giants 3, Dallas nothing. Set the lone setback. Pearson swings in motion. Set. Penalty flag right back at the line of scrimmage would usually indicate that somebody used their hands illegally. Curtis McGriff, who plays the run so well for the Giants, made the stop. Face mask against the Giants. Had to be against one of the linemen.
Yeah, that flag was thrown right there in the middle where you'd catch something on a center or a guard. It was thrown by the umpire who lines up right behind them.
Let's see who grabbed.
Grabbing the face mask, number 64, defense, tacked on to the end of the run. First down.
That's right. That umpire, he's the guy sitting right behind the defense, and he's watching in there that center and 2 guards. Of course, he's watching him for holding, but then he's also going to see the nose tackle grab a face mask.
First down, 10.
He must have done it earlier.
Well, yeah, he did. He did it right on the snap.
Dorsett to the outside. Almost, but look who's there. Lawrence Taylor. He's about as quick as Dorsett.
From the other side of the field. He just covers that whole field, sideline to sideline. Yeah, there's a lot of overrated players in the National Football League, I think, but Lawrence Taylor is not one of them.
You know, we get one of those new words every week. Somebody here earlier in the week said he was the ultimate impact player.
Especially, boom! That's the impact they're talking about. Whap.
2nd and 6. White to Donnelly. Bill Courier knocked him out of bounds. There was some doubt about whether Courier would be able to play or not. That's 9 yards, another Dallas first down.
Well, Donnelly's over there talking to the defense. He may be talking to his teammates, telling, yeah, I got that one pretty good. I'm getting the feeling of this game now.
Starting to get into it.
Yep, getting into this game now. You know, this is the 3rd regular season game. The Cowboys have started out their entire season behind. The Redskins had to come from behind St. Louis last week, 10-0, and here 3-0.
Jimmy Newsome now is the tailback, and this is Newsome, the ball carrier. He's as big as a house. Not Newhouse. Jim Burton.
And on the fly, number 30, Jimmy Newsome.
Now they're at midfield. 2nd and 4. And he may or may not be back.
Let's watch this. It's a hook pass. It's going to be right in front of cornerback Mark Haynes, who injured himself on this play, Pat. Let's see if we can see that. You see, he's hooking. He hooks right in front of Haynes, and then Brad Van Pelt hits over the top. But Mark Haynes hurt himself, and he came out. Mike Dennis is now at left corner.
Dennis playing in place of Haynes. White struggling. Bounces it to Cosby with Lawrence Taylor draped around his feet.
There's another one of those things where the incompletion should be given right there to George used to call those deliveries.
Right. It is very hot. Here's Springs hit in the backfield and wrestled to the ground by Van Pelt. George Martin hit him first. There's another guy who's always had. They line up in the shotgun. White looks over the defense. I look for something unusual. Who came off the bench. Way down in the end zone is the flag, or close to the end zone. Look at Donnelly.
That was one of those things. I got him.
There
You
is
take
no
him. Who
foul.
has him?
The quarterback was out of the pocket when the illegal contact occurred. First down, timeout.
Just had to scramble out of the pocket and threw that interception.
Of course, and the rule is once because they have to run protect. So they pick the flag up.
Giants from their own 21. Carpenter to about the 26. Everson Walls around his ankles. Missler comes wide to the left. Ernest Gray wide to the right. It's back to Butch Wolfolk. Brunig. One of the tacklers. The other is Hegman.
Again, that's the Giants' plan. Their pass like now. They're in a situation 3rd and 1. They can either run, play pass, or little pass.
And they got that clock running. 6:14 left first half. 3 tight end setups. Carpenter curls the body up top. Doesn't get the first down. Dennis Thurman, the first man to make the hit. And Dave Jennings will come into action.
That was when, as Carpenter hurled his body, the defense hurled their bodies. They all met in the top. Now watch it here. Wolfolk is leading. Here comes Carpenter. Now watch as he starts to jump up. Dennis Thurman just steps in. Brunig is also there, and he meets him at the height of his jump. There's no more forward motion.
Dave Jennings standing back to punt for the Giants. Ron Fellows back, not Doug Donnelly. Jennings doesn't get it all. Fellows evades the first Giant, but not the rest of them. He gets out to the 32 where Dallas will take over. Larry Flowers was the man who made the stop. 43-yard punt, 5-yard return. 5:29 left to play first.
There's Tony Hill. Yeah, we can see that he's still limping.
White. Dorsett. Lost. There is Harry Carson, one of the leaders of the Giant defense, and here's how it happened.
Watch him here, number 53. It's a screen pass out to the left. Now watch him. Now Kurt Peterson is going to come up right here. Watch him. And he puts his shoulder right on that left knee. See it right there. And it looked like his foot got caught. It's a left knee. Ooh, that one hurts.
Yeah. Knees are not meant to bend in that direction. 2nd and 14. 5:08 left to play first half. Giants 3, Cowboys nothing. Dorsett gets back to the line of scrimmage, and a flag is thrown. Well, here's Jerry Markbright. Illegal use of the hand. You think you were talking a minute ago about the Cowboys?
Then they decide and they see what they have to do, and they make it up. Against Washington, they were down 20 points. Against Kansas City.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 65, offense. 2nd down.
And against St. Louis, they were down by 10, and that was a pattern that was established, and they went out and won the game.
But it's more, I think, and I think what you're saying, it's more mental than it is not physically being ready to play.
I think it is. You see Tom Landry there looking at the card. Melvin, the train attendant, he thought that Tom Landry saved special plays for the 2nd half.
We'll see. Andy White. Drew Pearson in a sandwich at the 40. Bill Courier and a group of Giants along with Brad Van Pelt all hit. Van Pelt is down. They all bounced off Drew Pearson.
Well, I'll tell you, that's what has made Drew Pearson a great receiver in this league for 11 years. Now, a lot of guys can run those outside patterns and run those deep ones. But I'll tell you, Pearson goes in there, 4 guys around him, boom, taking that ball right out of the air.
And a lot of guys who won't even go in there.
That's right. You know, a lot of them, you know, they like to catch those sideline passes, step out of bounds, catch those deep ones in the end zones, do the dances. They can find a reason why there's nothing inside.
The dance floor is a lot more crowded in the middle of the field. It's 3rd and short. 1 to be exact. White is 8 out of 11 for 70 yards. Pearson's caught 3 for 45. close as to whether or not he made the first down. Curtis McGriff. First down, Dallas. For an NFL update, let's take you now to our New York studio and Brent Musburger.
Pat, the sluggish Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a touchdown here from James Owens, but they missed the extra point and they still trail Minnesota 10-6. Back to Pat and John in Dallas.
Well, cause for minor celebration anyway, because that's the first touchdown for the Bucs this year. And then they missed the extra point.
On the Buccaneers, they're going to miss Doug Williams more and more.
Right. White fakes to Dorsett, throws. Drew Pearson with a one-handed catch.
Just plucked that ball out of the air with his left hand. He was running a crossing pattern. Well, watch White here. He's going to start on a bootleg. See, he fakes the sweep to the left, bootlegs out to the right. Here comes Drew Pearson. Watch, one hand, just pluck that thing right out of the air and keep on running. Woo. I like those kind of plays. Bootlegs and crosses and one-handed catches and stuff.
Carson back in the game. White back to pass. Cowboys on the move. Doug Donnelly. Donnelly still on his feet. Donnelly fights. Courier finally stops him inside the 10. At the 9. First and goal, Dallas. 35 yards for Donnelly.
That's one thing about the Dallas Cowboys. You can stop them and stop them and stop them, but they keep shooting those bullets at you. Well, let's watch Doug Donnelly. Again, it's against the zone. Corner rotated up. There's a linebacker, Brian Kelly, and he catches it between a short man and a deep man. Keeps his feet going, keeps running. Nice little move. Ball out there. Pretty good.
First and goal from the 9. Giants lead 3-0. White going for the bunch. Cosby, touchdown. Penalty marker. This is going to be offensive interference, I'll bet you. Cosby pushed off.
The guy who calls it throws a flag and comes running up to the referee, then it will be. You're right. What's that defensive back?
Pass interference, number 84. Offense, first down.
And of course, the offensive guy can do it too, and they usually do it. Push the other guy.
First and 19. White back, fakes left, throws right. Springs, makes a one-handed catch. Keeps the ball, bangs down to about the 14. Mark Haynes made the stop.
You know, Harry Carson was back in on that play.
Right.
Now he's walking off the field again.
Well, it's very hot. In addition to being favoring an ankle and favoring a knee, you've got to fight the elements as well. Second and 13 now. They have to score the touchdown. Johnson inside the 5 to about the 4, and that's his first pass reception of the year.
Stopped, planted, and ran to the sideline.
So it's third and goal from the 4.5. 2:02 left. First quarter. Shotgun formation. White. Anybody there? Cosby had it, dropped it. Touchdown. Touchdown. If he does when his feet hit the ground. Raphael Septien with Glenn Carano holding. Septien hasn't missed anything all year. And he still hasn't. Let's look at the touchdown one more time.
Again, Danny White's favorite receiver when he gets down here is his big tight end, Doug Cosby, 6'6", because he can see him. Now here Cosby's up. When he comes down, he has to have control. I don't think he did, because his feet have to get down.
1:57 left to play first half. The Cowboys have taken the lead 7-3.
Play. The Cowboys got one on that play.
Whoever. Raphael will kick off. Raphael Septien. 7-3. misses it deep. Good pick. Canfield, 8 yards back of the end zone. Not a better kicker around right now in terms of kickoffs and field goals and extra points than that guy, Septien.
You know, he's one of those guys that's a heck of an athlete. You know, he can do a lot of things besides kick the ball.
Well, they have a racquetball tournament, the Cowboys.
They used to have one for the whole league, and they stopped having it because Septien won it every year. Don't invite him.
Missled motion. Carpenter on the draw. Anthony Dickerson, good play. Too tall Jones over to chase it down from the other side of the field.
Well, the Cowboy defense has been on the bench, and they had a little rest, so now they can come in and they're all fired up. They're active. Got everything going here pretty good.
First half. We're getting to the situation where the Cowboys might be starting to think about using some of their timeouts so they get the ball back, hopefully in good field position. Bruner back to throw. Randy White. Caston got him. Almost got him. Ernest Gray, the intended receiver. Michael Downs was there, but give a hurry for Randy White.
That's right, and that's one of the situations that the Giant offense can't get into. Let's watch Randy White here. He's going to come right to the left of the screen. See him, he goes right around Art. Here he comes. Boom, boom, boom. And then Bruner has to turn, spin, finds a receiver. He throws a pretty good pass in there.
Yeah.
Just dropped the ball. That's pretty good for a guy under harassment.
With scrambling like that. Bruner now goes back to the shotgun so he can have a better look at things. Canfield and Carpenter back there with him. Here comes the pressure again. He's going deep. Pass picked off by Everson Wall. Wall. Knocked out of bounds at the 1 by Bruner.
The Giants have a tough time in long yardage. We see here it's going to come right off of the receiver's hand. See, he starts in, the ball's a little behind him. Everson Walls is right there. So he's always at the right spot. But the other thing about this guy here is he has great hands. A lot of defensive backs don't. That's why they play defense, because they can't catch.
He is amazing.
He's happy. He got a new contract, you know, a week or so ago.
Now he's got a new ball to play with.
Yeah, take it home tonight.
1 minute to go. First and goal at the 1 for Dallas. Dallas 7, the Giants 3. 1 minute left to play in the first half. Giants out of timeouts. Dallas with 3.
It's a surprise the Giants took a timeout there because a change of possession is an automatic timeout anyway. They probably wanted to set their goal line defense.
First and goal from the 1. White. Dorsett hit in the backfield by Haynes. And hit
here from the ground level. Now watch 36 is the outside guy. Cosby blocks down. Here comes the guard, Scott, the fullback. He just knives right in and gets Dorsett before he can get one.
Could have hurt. Second and goal from the 2 now. Clock running, 24 seconds remaining. Cowboys with all their timeouts remaining. White. Cosby. A great scrambling touchdown catch by Doug Cosby. One shoe off.
He lost his shoe, but he held on to the ball that time. That was a legal catch in the end zone. But again, Danny White loves to look for Cosby down here because he's such a big target. Watch Cosby come off the line. There's Mark Haynes on him. See, Haynes is following. But see, he's such a big guy. You just throw it in there. The ball bounced off his chest. He comes and gets it back again with one hand.
Wow. He'd make a great waiter. At the end. Makes it 14-3. Look at this, how he cradles.
I tell you, they talk about concentration. I think that's what it is. Because Haynes was right there. The ball bounced off his chest. And that was his next reaction. And then the last one was a bumper.
Safety and the kickoff. Keeps it on the ground. Danny Pittman will bring it back. Danny Pittman nailed by Anthony Dickerson.
Well, with 11 seconds now, I'm sure the Giants will just run out the clock and not second guessing, but
And I'm sure you're exactly right, John. That's what they'll do now. And had they done it before, not second guessing, it would still be 7-3. As it is, it's Dallas 14, the Giants 3. And they head for the locker room.
Welcome back to New York. Walter Payton may have lost, but what a day he had for Chicago.
Unbelievable day. Carried the ball 28 times, gained 161 yards, and also threw some touchdown passes. What about that?
2 touchdown passes, both of which were critical at the time. Now, here he is going to Willie Gault. This will tie the score at 34. Gault caught 3 touchdown passes on the game, 4 overall. Then New Orleans went ahead, and Payton wasn't finished.
Here again, Payton on a run pass. The defense reacts to that, and Wallace says, wait a minute, I'm going to throw again.
Then it was Tim Ryan with time in overtime. 4 minutes to go. Morton Anderson coming on the field to set up for the field goal.
It'll be a 41-yard attempt. They'll spot it at the 31. Merkins holding. Morton Anderson gets it off, and it is good.
And that was the first overtime victory in the New Orleans franchise history. 34-31. It was wild all afternoon long. Other finals now. Baltimore and Buffalo. They shoot it out. Perhaps the Bills are for real under Kay Stevenson. 28-23. But the Colts did score a touchdown against that Bill defense. And the defending Super Bowl champion, Washington Redskins, gave 12 points to the Kansas City Chiefs and their new coach, John Malkovich, and then came storming back. Nick Lowry with an AFC record 58-yard field goal, and that put the Chiefs ahead by 3. Now, Joe Theismann was having all kinds of problems against Malkovich's defense. But finally, it was big John Riggins who barreled in the second half, and that got the Redskins back in control of the football game. And from there, Theismann put up this pass, tipped, and Warren has got it for the touchdown, and the Redskins win it. The final again was 27-12. San Francisco and St. Louis. And yes, the 49ers appear to be back. Certainly Joe Montana is. On the day, 20 of 32 for 341 yards and 3 touchdowns, including this one.
Freddie Solomon makes it look easy. A 69-yard touchdown pass. The old guy can still run, Brett.
And the final again was 42-27. Pittsburgh and Houston. Franco Harris had another 100-yard game for the Steelers. That is the 44th of his fabulous career. And now the Oilers have lost 10 games in a row. They have not won a game since the strike ended. Atlanta and Detroit shoot it out. Atlanta wins for the first time in the Motor City, 30-14 over the Lions. And finally, the Rams and the Packers slug it out before the Packers pull it out, 27-24 against John Robinson, whose Rams made a brilliant second-half comeback. Watch Lynn Dickey. 9th touchdown pass of the season to John Jefferson. Lofton had 4 catches, but no touchdowns. Vince Ferragamo then, going to the corner of the end zone. And it was Otis Grant. But then for Bart Starr, he has got a man who can block field goals. His name is Gary Lewis. Gary, how do you do it? That was your 4th.
A lot has to do with the with my front defensive line. You know, without them, I'm just average. If they didn't give me that extra 1 or 2 yards as far as penetration, then my job would only be average.
That saved the game. Then with 33 seconds to go, Eric Dickerson coughed it up. The Packers recovered. They ran the clock down to 1 second, and Jan Stenerud came on and hit this 27-yard field goal, and the Packers have pulled it out against the Rams 27-24. Now, of course, there are several games that are still working. The Philadelphia Eagles, they lead the Denver Broncos in the second quarter, 7-0 is the score there. John Elway, the starter, but as you can see, no touchdowns yet. Chuck Knox apparently has turned the Seahawks around. They lead the San Diego Chargers 17-7. They are in the second quarter there. Minnesota over Tampa Bay 13-6. Tommy Kramer has been knocked out of the game. Steve Dills is quarterbacking the Vikings. Tommy will not return because of an injured knee. Obviously, it will be x-rayed. In the game you're enjoying, the Dallas Cowboys have taken a 14-3 lead over the New York Giants. And Irv and I will continue after these messages. Beating the New York Jets by 10 points. Irv, I just can't believe it.
It's hard for all of us to believe because the Jets have a solid football team and now they're down 1-2.
Well, here's one of the reasons why. Tony Collins exploded for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns. He scored on runs of 38, 6, and 23, and they were high-fiving from the beginning to the end up there in Foxborough this afternoon. Now, with time running out in the first half, Richard Todd pulled the Jets to within 3. Missed the extra point. Now Pat Leahy is injured. They've got a kicking problem, so Joe Walton has his work cut out now. But the big man again was Tony Collins. Here he is on the draw, and the Patriots hand the Jets their second straight defeat. And, of course, don't forget that next week, one of our key doubleheader games here at 4 o'clock Eastern.
New York Giants 3. Things really turned around at the end of the first half. Look at this.
You know, as we look at it by quarters, the first quarter was the Giants. Look, total yards, 108, time of possession over 10 minutes. And look what happened when they went to the second quarter. They only had 6 minutes of time of possession. The Cowboys had 8. But look at those first downs. In the second quarter, the Giants only had 1 first down. The Cowboys had 9.
The way the Giants approached things, the first quarter was textbook. The second quarter was Ali Haji Sheik about ready to kick off. The Giants trailing the Cowboys 14-3 with another half to go. Some of the problems I think that we had at the beginning of the game when it was so hot and so humid have disappeared. Clouds have made an appearance and it's not that bad. Haji Sheik, high kick. Rod Fellows from his own goal line. Straight line Cowboys, they call them now. There goes a penalty marker down, which we'll check on in a minute. Yesterday was picture day here at Texas Stadium, and the Cowboys look like a Christmas card, don't they?
That's a perfect picture. Then it was over, and they said, okay, be yourselves, guys. And this is the Cowboys being themselves. So maybe they still do have a little nonsense.
They're not just mechanical men. They do move, they do talk, they do have fun, they do laugh.
Face mask.